Welcome to The Explainer. All right, today we're tackling a lifetime deal that could literally save you hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars on design assets. If you're a creator of any kind, you are definitely going to want to stick around for this one. So let's get right to it. What's the big problem that a deal like this is even trying to solve? Well, if you create anything online, you probably know this pain all too well. Yeah, the source article really hits the nail on the head here. It's that endless, frustrating cycle, right? You're paying for these expensive stock subscriptions, you're wrestling with frankly terrible low-quality templates, and you're just watching your budget vanish into thin air. So the big question is, how in the world do you scale professional-looking content without a huge corporate-level design budget? And that, of course, brings us to the proposed solution at the very heart of this review, a platform called EpicPxls, and it's being offered as a really compelling lifetime deal. Okay, so here's the pitch. EpicPxls is basically positioning itself as the antidote to that budget drain. It's built to be this low-cost, super high-value alternative, giving you all the building blocks you need for creating great digital experiences, but without that recurring financial gut punch every single month. So what about first impressions? Well, the first thing that jumped out to the reviewer was just how easy it was to get going. I mean, there's no clunky software to install, you get instant access the second you log in, and the interface itself, super clean, super simple. It's all about one thing, helping you find what you need fast. For busy pros, that minimal learning curve is a huge, huge plus. All right, but what's actually inside this library? I mean, let's get into the good stuff. What are the assets that are supposed to make this deal so valuable? Okay, the sheer breadth of this collection is a huge selling point. We are talking about everything. Professional UI kits for SaaS and e-commerce, entire landing pages, website templates, mobile kits, high-quality mockups, tons of icon sets, and modern illustrations. The whole idea here is that this one library could potentially replace a bunch of different design subscriptions that you might be paying for right now. And this is absolutely critical. The assets come in all the pro formats you'd expect: Figma, Sketch, Adobe XD. Now, this is a massive feature for professionals because it means the files just slot directly into the workflow you already have. No messing around with tedious file conversions. It just works. But what about the future, right? Is this just a snapshot in time? Nope. The deal isn't just a one and done. They're adding new content all the time, so the library keeps growing and, more importantly, stays up to date with current trends. Oh, and this is huge. You get full commercial usage rights. That is an absolute must-have for any agency or freelancer doing client work. Okay, but a massive library of junk is still, well, junk. Quantity means nothing without quality. So the reviewer put these assets to the test in a real-world scenario to see if they really are, production ready. So for this test, a really common but super important asset was picked out: a SaaS pricing page UI kit for Figma. The whole goal was to crack it open and really inspect its guts. The layers, the organization, if it used pro features like auto layout. And the result? It was a massive thumbs up, a definitive confirmation of its quality. This quote from the review pretty much says it all. The downloaded file wasn't just some flat, useless template that you'd have to spend hours rebuilding from scratch. No, it was a proper production-level file, ready to be dropped right into an existing design system, or used as a perfect starting point. And here's where the rubber meets the road. What does that quality actually mean for you? The reviewer estimated that using this single high-quality kit saved somewhere between 3 to 5 hours of setup and cleanup time. Think about that. That's basically half a day of work you just got back. Time you can now spend on strategy, on growth, or, hey, on finding your next client. Okay, now let's talk about what might be the most compelling part of this whole deal for a lot of people: the money. Let's break down how the value proposition actually stacks up financially. I mean, when you put these numbers side by side, the value just becomes ridiculously clear. A typical high-quality template subscription, that could run you about $65 a month. That's $780 a year. Compare that to a one-time payment of $39 for EpicPxls. The savings in the first year alone are over $700. It's wild. And this visual just says it all, doesn't it? You've got this tiny little $39 bar for a lifetime of access, right next to this towering, intimidating $780 bar for just 1 year of a subscription. The numbers and the picture, they really do speak for themselves. So when you take it all in, the huge library, the proven quality, and that insane price point, who is this deal really for? Let's break down the final verdict from the review. Yeah, the review really hones in on a specific group of people who stand to gain the most from this. If you're a digital marketer, a content creator, a small agency owner, basically anyone who needs to pump out a high volume of professional-looking content and is just sick and tired of subscription fatigue, then this is aimed right at you, especially if your team is already living in tools like Figma. Look, no tool is perfect, right? And the review gives a really fair and balanced final look. The pros are just obvious: unbeatable value, genuinely high-quality kits, and zero recurring costs. But the cons are important to know too. This is a library of static assets. It's not some interactive creation tool. And you do need to bring your own design software, like Figma or Photoshop, to actually use the files. But even with those limitations, the final conclusion from the reviewer is totally unambiguous. They call it a must-buy. And the argument is pretty simple. For the price of what you typically pay for just 1 month of a similar service, you get access forever to a library that keeps on growing. It's really positioned as an essential tool for just slashing your production costs without having to sacrifice on quality. And that really leaves us with one last big question to chew on. In a world that's just drowning in endless monthly subscriptions, could a single, tiny, one-time investment of $39 fundamentally change your creative workflow and your budget for good? That's a pretty powerful question to think about.